I finally unlocked 2 types of tier 7 units in Age of Empires Mobile, and man, it feels good. And how did I fund my tier 7 units? In part by using Apex coins and previously the voucher system. So I want to talk about that in this video. I want to show you the preparations that I made in addition to unlocking 2 types of tier 7 units. And let's start by talking very briefly about Apex coins, which have replaced the voucher system. Now, you may recall on my channel, I made a video about how there's a Midasbuy site. If you use my link, by the way, it does support my channel. That is an affiliate link. Thank you for using my link every time you go and you visit the Midasbuy site. Definitely bookmark my link in the description and the pinned comment. But what I pointed out was that you could go and you could buy these vouchers from the site, and you could exchange them for bundles. You basically would go to Midasbuy, pre-purchase bundles, and then when you're making purchases, you just exchange a voucher, and it's fairly easy, except you needed to have an exact voucher for your purchase, which at times got a little bit annoying, truth be told, which is why, in part, they've replaced it with the Apex coin system. So the Apex coin system is basically the same thing, all right? But great news, now you can just spend an exact amount of Apex coins, and it's a bit more flexible than the vouchers, which we're exchanging for exact bundles. And you could trade out your vouchers, but a part of the reason I could fund the T7s with the bundles I purchased with my Apex coins is that your first purchases are currently 2 for 1. That is insane, and let me show you how crazy this is. So when I visit the Midasbuy site, the link is, by the way, in the description if you want to use my affiliate link, which will support my channel, and I appreciate you doing that every time you make a purchase here. But the first time you do this, it's buy one, get one free at every tier of these bundles. So I did this with vouchers, and I got to do it all over again with the Apex coins. So if you're subscribed to my channel and you're spending in this game, you're getting big value. And I do want to remind you, like, look, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. But when you spend in a mobile game, consider your life priorities. Things like having an emergency fund, saving for retirement, prioritizing your family, and, right? Like when I spend in mobile games, it's in part because I'm running a business, making content, and also it's disposable income. I just want to be really clear about that. But if you are going to spend, why would you not get double value? What are we even talking about, right? So use my link. You go to this site and you're going to sign in, right? I can go sign in here. Let me go do that. You're going to need to know what empire you're in, and you're going to need to know your player ID. This is very important. I'll show you how to find this in game. It's very, very simple. And you can copy your player ID without having to like transcribe all these numbers. All right, we'll do that later. And you can see this is my recently used player ID, but whatever. We're going to hit OK. And boom. You can see I've made all of these purchases, almost all of them already anyway. So I don't get the 2 for 1 deal anymore, but you still do get 3% off, right? Which is not nothing. And this is how I've made all my purchases so far. Once the store became available, this is now what I use exclusively, and I've had no problems whatsoever. Anyways, let me show you how I allocated all the goodies I got from the 2 for 1 value, which, by the way, in case I wasn't really clear about this, at the time that I did my buy one, get one free purchases, all right, I went in and I bought literally every tier. So I bought the $100 tier, and that gave me almost 20,000 Apex coins. I bought the, $50 tier, and that gave me another 10,000 Apex coins, right? The 5,000 then doubled, right? It did it for every tier. I'm a lunatic, but also I'm well on mobile games. This is what I do. Anyways, let's jump in game. I'll show you how I spent this stuff. So in addition to getting my tier 7s lined up, I also went and I flipped over to VIP 11. I spent like a very small amount of Empire coins. That's what I needed. And that let me max out my Miyamoto, and I maxed out a bunch of heroes. Let me show you here. So first and foremost, Miyamoto, now maxed out. Legendary gear, looking pretty good. These are the skills that I've got. Are they perfect? I think they're pretty decent. And this one over here, I started to red star. This one, increase the activation chance of the hero's active skills by, for me, 14.73%. Pretty good. Now, on the topic of my warrior swordsman, I'm also running Tribuana. I've got her 3 stars. And I've got my equipment as you see here. The one sort of mistake that I think I made with this is that what's popular these days is taking your epic equipment to level 40 and then getting troop capacity by virtue of starring it up. And like it's very challenging to have the stuff you need to get legendary equipment to star up, but whatever. Anyways, these are the skills that I've got over here. I'm using on Tribuana Bloodthirst and King's Blade. And like I've played around with a bunch of skills on these different heroes. So some of them I have more than 2 legendary skills unlocked. And then here's Yodit. Big chillin', 3 stars as well. Full red star on this skill over here. This increases the hero's signature active skill activation chance by 15%, which is a big deal. That's like what this combo is all about. And every time the hero activates a signature active skill, there's a 50% chance to increase the skill damage by 80%. Dude, big chilling. Big chilling. All right, we also have Battle Roar. All right. And that is my warrior swordsman lineup. From here, we need to talk about my tactician cavalry, because I've done a few upgrades, and there are times where I will use Cleo. For now, she's set up for gathering, because I've taken my Hannibal, and this is kind of my main march. Full red star over here. Yeah, I know my level's kind of low on the Radiant Guardian, but at least I finally have it. And I moved out of the double strike because I have the Radiant Guardian giving me the double strike effect. Long story short, this is where we're at on our Hannibal. And in the second slot, I'm now going with Ashoka. And I spent a bunch to sort of take him to 3 stars. A bunch of universal sort of medals is what it is. He's in a great spot. Full red starred this skill, the Roar of Victory. I did this in part to generate more rage. 26 rage is what I generate, which seems pretty good. All right. After launching a normal attack, deals might damage to the enemy and increases your troops' rage by 26. All right. And that's where we're at with Ashoka. And then lastly, Justinian is nearly maxed out on his star level. He's in a pretty decent spot. And I've got a bunch of their equipment on these heroes kind of ready to take to that coveted 2-star level for the extra unit capacity. And I think an epic piece, what is it, like 900 unit capacity is what you get on there. So like way less unit capacity, but you can get it potentially. So that's my situation on Cavs. All right. It's pretty decent. And I'm feeling pretty good about this overall. Skills on here look good. And ring on him, by the way, is the Ring of the Crow. I forgot to mention on Ashoka, I had the Ring of the Nightwolf. Those rings I already had already. So I wouldn't say necessarily like, oh, those are the perfect 2 rings for those guys. But like, that's what I had. That's how I've allocated it. And there we are. All right. Do I need more ring currency? Yes. Yes, I would. Given more Apex coins, I'd probably allocate them toward that. And also, as I said in my prior video, the strategy for that is to just hit the 100 currency tier. It's 30 pulls in order to get that, ring currency kind of rolling. Anyways, whatever. So from here, I do have one other army. And of course, it's the Warrior Pikeman I've been working on for a while. And we added Boudica to 3 stars to the lineup here. All right. So now we've got Leonidas, we've got Richard, we've got Boudica, big chilling. And I started to work on Tactician Archers, but I've paused that project for now just because, like, I got too much going on, and I spent a bunch of the stuff that I had upgrading the other, units there. But the game plan is to maybe take a Suleiman Theodora YSS army and run that around as a sort of disruptive army based off the back of Suleiman primarily. But that's sort of a long-term project that I'll get to kind of eventually. That's the game plan for now. All right. And there we go, man. That's how I allocated the majority of my upgrades. Like I said, I think epic equipment could arguably be an improvement over the route that I've went with the legendary equipment. In the long run, having the legendary equipment is obviously going to be very good. In the short run, I'm going to be a little bit low on troop cap, which is a bit of a bummer. We are getting invaded, by the way, which is going to get interesting. The reality is, in part, because we're fighting an old server, like they're 2 months older than us. Like, man, I think they had a lot of stuff banked up, but also we ultimately decided we weren't going to push. After a couple days of not winning, we were like, okay, what if we just save for a future event? Because it doesn't look like we're going to win. Also, if we had won, I think we would have been attacking at 11 UTC, which is like, bro's asking me to set an alarm on the weekend. I don't know if that's what I'm about. Whereas defending is at 19 UTC, which is a great time for me. So I plan to be fighting at 19 UTC. It's going to get interesting because although technically I've unlocked tier 7s, I still need to train a bunch of tier 7s, and I have not done that yet. And I would ideally like to wait for a training buff. So like I'm T7 in spirit only. And like in actuality, here, I'll speed these up, right? That's the wrong troop. There's my stable, speed up. I've only done this a couple times at this point. So I have like 10,000 of these. We'll go back over here. I guess I can claim them this way. So I can keep promoting them up, but it's a long process. I have a lot of troops. It's just gonna take time to kind of upgrade them. And I have speeds, but yeah, we'll do this. There it is. Looking good, man. Looking good. Slowly and surely, we will get there. Overall, city progress has been good. Starting to get a little bit further on these guard towers. Have a ways to go, but whatever. If you enjoyed the vid, throw a like on here, subscribe. Thank you for using my link if you're going to make purchases on Midasbuy for the Apex coins. Using my affiliate link will support the channel, which is awesome. I appreciate your support. Use that link, literally bookmark it every time you go there to support my channel. Thank you for that. And I'll let you know how it goes tomorrow. Battling, defending our land. We're getting invaded, and it is what it is. Until next time, you have fun, smash your enemies. If you want to see my previous Age of Empires mobile videos, check the cards in the end screen. They'll be here and here.